Hello, and welcome back to another week. For those of you that are returning, for those of you that are new, my name is Mike Sparrow. I am a 44-year-old man living in San Antonio, Texas, who is using this vlog to visualize the journey that I've been going through in this personal growth that started about 7 months ago. This is the 11th week that I have done this, and to say that I feel a lot better than I did in that first week is a bit of an understatement. I think, though, that one of the things that I want to talk about today, or the thing that I want to talk about today, is the idea and the difference between moving on and moving forward. I get a lot of friends, acquaintances, people that I know that tell me, like, hey, you move on. She's moved on, you need to move on. Or, hey, you're sitting here and you're dwelling upon things, or you continue to fall back into situations that you just need to move on. Move on from it. Why can't you move on? And one of the things that I always say, and that I've continued to say, is that I'm not moving on, I'm moving forward. And I believe that there is a big difference when it comes to this idea of moving on from things and moving forward from things. And I'm hoping that today that I can kind of explain that. First, let me explain what my ideas and my thoughts are as far as the term moving on. When we move on from things, or we move on from somebody or a job or these other things, a lot of times everything is cut, everything is severed. There are no memories that are good. There's nothing that was positive about the situation. There was nothing that was good that came about from that situation. Everything that happened is done. It's over with. We're cutting that tie and everything is done and we move on. Have I been in situations where there's been jobs, where there have been people, where there have been relationships that I've moved on from? 100% yes, I have. There are things that have happened within these relationships, within these jobs, within these acquaintances, within whatever it is, that there has been 100% severing of everything that happened. People are blocked on social media. People are never spoken to again. Numbers are erased from phones. All of those things, yes, I have been in that. The difference between that and what I'm dealing with right now is that moving on and moving forward are two totally different things. Yes, moving forward means that there is no contact. It means that there is a separation. It means that things probably will never be the same as they were before, but it's also coming to the conclusion that the situation that just happened is one that is not something that was totally negative. There might have been some negative aspects that were a part of it, but in the end, there were far more positives that came out of it. You were able to grow as a person. The person that you were with or the situation you were with was able to grow as well. The job, whatever it may be. Things may not have ended the way that you wanted them to, but you have great memories. You have great views of the person, the people or that work the job there are still people that you talk to. They're still friends. They're not just colleagues that you used to have that you don't speak to anymore. They're people that you still consider that are important in your life, even though you don't talk to them as much as you used to. Moving on is something where there's nothing that's left. The bridge has been burned. There's nothing. It's destroyed. There's nothing there. Moving forward is knowing that bridge will always be there, regardless of whether you use it or not. It's always there. And I think that sometimes when we look at this moving forward as opposed to moving on, people look at it as being weak. People look at it as like, oh, well, using this type of terminology and having this thought process is just putting you in a position where you're never going to be able to move forward with your life. You're never going to be able to find that happiness. You're never going to be able to find the love that you're looking for. You're never going to be able to get that job that you're looking for that's going to fulfill all of these things. And that's just not true. You see, the problem is that because we consider everything so black and white, and because we look at things in that black and white nature, a lot of times that gray area gets pushed under the rug. That gray area gets looked at as if it is not something that's possible. It's not feasible. You can't do that way. But let me tell you that most of the things that happen in our life are within that gray area. Yes, we try to keep everything within the black and white, but most of the time we live within that gray. Whether we want to live within that gray or not, we are constantly living within the gray, and moving forward as opposed to moving on is being in that gray. It's realizing that the things that happen to you, that those wounds that you have did cut deep and they will heal, but there's always going to be a scar that's there from it. Learning to live with that scar and knowing that even though that scar is there, that scar makes you who you are. I wouldn't be in the position that I am right now if it wasn't for the relationship that I was in previously, and I have to appreciate that. I have to appreciate the things that the person that I was with gave me to get me to where I'm at, to push me to where I'm at. Even though that person may not be here, we may not talk anymore, it doesn't mean that I don't still carry a part of that person with me everywhere that I go. And I always will. Yet I also have to accept the fact that in the current way, in the present time that we live in right now, the situation is what it is. And the only thing that I can do is, just like time, I can continue to move forward and keep on moving forward. So that's where I'm at. And that's the difference between moving on and moving forward. It's not weak. It doesn't make me a weak person. It's just me understanding and learning to live with the things that I have to live with. It's me learning and understanding that the place that I'm at right now wasn't just me that got here. There are lots of people that helped me get to this place. And the only thing that I can do is I can continue to move forward and keep that forward direction. If I continue to do this in a positive way and continue to be positive and spread the positivity that I want to spread to the people around me, then moving forward can be a positive thing. It's not a weakness. As a matter of fact, I think it's showing more strength, being in that position and being able to accept and being able to be okay with the way that the position is, even though it's not the position that you necessarily want it to be. Yes, you had to leave that job, a job that you loved more than anything in the world, and you wish that you could stay there. But because of certain circumstances and because of things that happened, you had to move forward. It doesn't mean that you're not going to love the next job that you're at. It doesn't mean that you're not going to continue to love the job that you had. It just means that you have a greater appreciation for all of those things. So when I say that I'm moving forward, or to keep moving forward, I'm saying to have an appreciation of the things that happened in the past, so that way you understand where you're at today. Because again, I would not be in the place that I'm at today without the confidence and the drive and the cheerleader that I had with the person that was next to me before. But that person's no longer with me. And coming to accept that and understand that in this present light, this is where I'm at, and have appreciation for where I was to where I'm at right now, and knowing that if I continue to move forward, positive things are going to continue to happen, is the point of using move forward, or that I'm moving forward as opposed to moving on. You see, moving on means completely cutting ties. And the last thing I want to do is completely cut ties with memories that I love more than anything in the world. The last thing I want to do is cut ties from a place in my heart that is always going to be there. Bridges stay open because we never know what's going to happen in the future. If we cut those ties, we ultimately know what is going to happen in the future. So if somebody ever says, "Why aren't you moving on? Why have you not moved on?" and you're in a place kind of similar to me, remember what I'm saying. And remember that you're not weak. Remember that you are strong, because being able to deal with the stuff that you're dealing with, in knowing and appreciating the things that are in the past, and being in the place that you're at and holding all that love in your heart is hard. But it doesn't mean that you can't keep on moving forward. And it doesn't mean that you can't open yourself up to the possibility of new things. And it doesn't mean that you can't be in a position to where things are going to happen that are going to be positive to you. It just means that you have an appreciation for the things that have happened to get you to where you are today. I hope that helps. I hope that gives a better understanding of where I'm at. I've been reflecting on this for at least the last week, trying to get a better understanding of what's the difference between moving on and moving forward, because I have had friends that have come to me and said, what's the difference? Like, there's no difference between these words, but ultimately there is. And trust me, in having this kind of mindset, you are going to fall. There are going to be times where you're going to be sad. You're going to be upset, maybe even angry. You're going to feel hopeless. You're going to feel worthless. But just know that those feelings are temporary. And know that if we continue to keep on a path where we're moving forward, yeah, those memories are going to become farther and farther away, but you're never going to lose them. Those people will stay close as long as they stay close in your memories and in your heart. But you gotta keep moving forward. I hope this helps. I hope that the words that I'm giving you help me or help you as much as they've been helping me. For those of you that have been keeping up with this, if you look back at week 1, which is almost 3 months ago now, to where I'm at today, I have done a lot of self-reflection. I have done a lot of growth. I have done a lot of deep looking at myself to get a better understanding of where I am. Probably stuff that I should have done many, many years ago, but here I am. Here I sit. And I keep moving forward. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you're getting as much out of these words as I am. And I hope to see you again next week. Until then, have a great rest of your week.